3, 2, 1.
Can't hear you.
Service is now beginning. For our prelude today, let's join the choir in singing Here We Have Gathered, number 360 in the gray hymnal. Hello, everyone. I am Betsy Nachman, and I would like to welcome you all to the Berkeley Fellowship of Unitarian Universalists. A special welcome to our friends over there on Zoom. We are part of a free religious tradition that honors the loving heart, the open mind, and growing together within beloved community. And where does the loving heart first grow? In our mother's arms. So thank you for coming today to honor our mothers together. I'd like to remind you to make sure your cell phones are muted. If you have any announcements, please write them down and give them to Jeff Palmer over in the AV corner. He just raised his hand and waved. Our fellowship stands on land that is today called Berkeley, California, located in the unceded territory of the Ohlone people. We honor them today and always for their wisdom and their resilience. One quick note, please do not record any part of this service. BFUU records it, and the sermons are posted on the website. Please light your own chalice or candle at home now, while we light this communal chalice for all of us, a symbol of our tradition and the spirit that lives in every one of us. Hank, thank you for coming up and rising to the task. I think it was freely given and not asked for. Please read with me our chalice lighting covenant, which can be found in your order of service. Starting now. Let love be the spirit of this congregation and service its goal. This is our covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truths in life, and to help one another. And now we will light our red candle and say our other vow, also in your order of service. We light our red candle to mourn Black lives taken by violence, to proclaim that Black lives matter, and to express our commitment to Black liberation, reparations, and the end of slave capitalism. Note, I took out the word police violence because I think it's far broader than that. I would also like to add that we mourn for immigrants across the country who are being deported without due process or regard for their dignity. And now, instead of our responsive reading, Gillian will say Psalm 139 as our opening words.
Thanks, Betsy. I'm going to read 2 lines from Psalm 139, which was written by an unknown Hebrew poet or poetess in gratitude to the Creator God in whom they believed. For thou didst form my inward parts. Thou did knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise thee, for thou art fearful and wonderful. Wonderful are thy works.
Please join the choir now in singing the hymn Ancient Mother. You'll find it in the Teal Hymnal, 1069. Meditation. In a moment, I'll sound our chime to lead us into our time of silent meditation. Please get comfortable. Follow your breath to your inner stillness. I'll ring the chime a second time at the end of 2 minutes. So nice to be here with you all. Now we have our rituals time. The ritual of joys and sorrows is a time for each of us to share what is in our hearts this week and ask for community prayers and support. Each week we lay out a book at that podium on the table on your left that you are welcome to write in about your joys and sorrows. I will read now from that book. Happy Mother's Day for all mothers, aunts, stepmoms, foster moms, etc. Blessings for everyone who cares for children. Simone. Thank you, Simone. So great to hear Gillian speak today. A poem. Give up holding on. Give in to yourself. Give out to the world. That's a good breathing poem, isn't it? Another, prayers for Jinky's healing, and happy Mother's Day to all mothers, alive and dead. The ritual of joys and sorrows is a time for each of us to share what is in our hearts this week and ask for community. Whoops, I did that already. On to part 2. Now is the time we say aloud the names of anyone to whom we want to send support and love.
Reporters.
Now we'll move on to the silent part of our morning ritual, the healing ritual with water and stones. For anything that is in our hearts that we wish to bring into the community, but is perhaps too sensitive to speak aloud, we have a symbolic action that you can take. You can walk down our center aisle, choose a stone or stones, and immerse it in the water, which represents our community. While we are doing the healing ritual, Melissa will perform the Sanskrit chant, Amba Mata, to the universal divine mother of us all.
Is the ukulele on?
Okay. Amba Mata, Jagan Mata, Vedamata Sanya, Prema Mata, Amba Mayi, Jagan Mayi, Vedamayi Sanya, Prema Mayi, Amba Mata, Jagan Mata, Vedamata Satya Prema Mata, Amba Mayi, Jagan Mayi, Vedamayi Satya Prema Mayi, Amba Mata, Jagan Mata, Vedamata Satya Prema Mata, Amba Mayi, Jagan Mayi, Vedamayi Satya Prema Mayi, Amba
Thank you, Melissa, for that lovely chant. We may be a small group, but we're a mighty group in terms of song. I really appreciate how much we like to sing. For all that we have shared, and for all that we will share in our ongoing lives together, may we be grateful. Today's meditation song comes from the Buddhist tradition and is found in the order of service. Please join in the singing. Here's our start. May I be safe, may I be well, may I know joy, may I be free, may you be safe, may you be well, may you know joy, may you be free. Be safe, may they be well, may they know joy, may they be free, may all be safe, may all be well, may all know joy, may all be Now artists will present our reading, On Children, by Khalil Gibran.
And a woman who held a babe against her bosom said, "Speak to us of children."
Oh,
Wait, I don't get the mic. Oh, remember? I do remember, but I couldn't even see her. And a woman who held a babe against her bosom said, "Speak to us of children. Your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. They come through you, but not from you. And though they are with you, they belong not to you. You may give them your love, but not your thoughts, for they have their own thoughts. You may house their bodies, but not their souls, for their souls dwell in the house of tomorrow, which you cannot visit, not even in your dreams. You strive to like them, but seek not to make them like you, for life goes not backward nor tarries with yesterday." And he was a Lebanese-American poet.
thank you, artists. We will now, I am so happy to introduce our guest speaker and my friend and fellowship member, Gillian Fynn. Gillian was born in England and raised in Africa in what was Rhodesia and is now Zimbabwe. She lived elsewhere abroad, including in Nicaragua while it was at war, and she came to the US in 1978. Gillian now lives in Berkeley. She has 2 children and 2 grandchildren who live nearby. Gillian is a licensed clinical social worker, now semi-retired. She worked for many decades in maternal and child health and focused particularly on the mental health of both populations. She has been a peace activist all her life. And now I'll turn the mic over to Gillian.
Well, good morning. And another welcome to Mother's Day. And thank you so much for the honor of speaking with you on a topic that touches every one of us at some time. Growing together in beloved community is a core value for Unitarians. Often that means facing uncomfortable truths as well as enjoying friendship and support. And this fellowship particularly is known for its willingness to speak out, to broaden the bounds of community. In my talk today, I plan to present a community concern I hold and hope that you will be willing to share it with me. and to celebrate my experience of community. Well, let's start by acknowledging and lifting up the many aspects of mothering, right, in which any of us may be involved. So here's to birth mothers, adoptive mothers, foster mothers, grandmothers, great-grandmothers, mothers-in-law, substitute mothers, godmothers, madres, and abuelitas. Raise your hand if you're any of those. Yeah, I thought. Bless us all. We can throw the embrace wider because as we look at families today, more and more men are significant caregivers and in fact may be the primary caregivers to children. With the advent of some enlightenment and the right to marry, we now have some non-traditional relationships with children being raised lovingly by two moms or two dads. Long may it continue. May those rights survive the relentless assault of the ugly juggernaut intent on taking us backwards to some imaginary time when this country was great. In fact, families of all kinds are struggling. The most recent data is from 2023. In that year, 36.8 million people, and that's 11.1% of our population, were living in poverty. And of those, 15 million lived in deep poverty, which means below the poverty line. Too many of them children. The Republican administration is currently cutting HUD housing subsidies, food subsidies, Head Start, public schools, FEMA, heating assistance, just for starters. If they even allow data collection, we can imagine what poverty will look like in 2026. The war on poverty was started by Lyndon Johnson in the 1960s, a thread of human decency through times of war, racism, and rising wealth disparity. Reverend William Barber is currently the face of this war against poverty. On April 28th, just last month, Reverend Barber stood in the U.S. Capitol Rotunda protesting and praying for mercy in the GOP budget. He was arrested for incommoding. I now can only place some hope in the rapid election of an American pope, hoping that some of the meaning might be to have a figure of such gravitas, such a moral stature for so many in this country that there's a counterbalance to the evil that assails us every day. Today, I want to bring to your attention concerns about a specific population, those who give birth. On one hand, women lose the right to choice. States enact draconian laws which could imprison doctors for providing vital health care. 12-year-old rape victims can be forced to carry to term. And the interstate commerce of mifepristone is in danger. On the other hand, every federally financed assistance to young families is on the chopping block. And yet, the president wants more people to have babies. In fact, he's offering $5,000 to a family who has a baby. Believe it, I heard it on the news. What would $5,000 do in the lifetime of a child, right? So I really wanted to present to you some data today, and I think visuals make data clearer. So Paul has kindly agreed to assist me with this, and I'm hoping if I turn the mic sideways, I'll be able to see what's on the screen. Okay, yeah. So we are looking at the March of Dimes report card for the United States. And the March of Dimes is a nonprofit organization that specializes in research, advocacy, and programs for mothers and infants. As you can see, we get a D+ for preterm births in this country. And preterm birth means babies that are born before 37 weeks gestation. Preemies, right? So, Paul, could you give us the next screen, please? I think there weren't, yes. So, okay, we get a D+, And here's what's alarming. Can you move it up a weeny bit, Paul? Okay. The worst outcomes, guess what, are in those red and orange states. And look where they are. And I think you're seeing social policy writ large, right? Okay, now we go on and say that in our, oh, sorry, no, there is another one here. No, it's all right, keep going. You were at the right place. I just forgot to say what you could see here. That is that those rates have been steadily rising since 2013. You can see that's the leftmost number, right? That's where we are now. Okay, sorry, Pong. Now you could go up to just this 1/3 of the US cities with the greatest number of live births get an F for preterm births. And I hope that perhaps some of you might choose to Google this March of Dimes report card, because it'll tell you a lot about the cities. California isn't the worst, neither are we the best. The purple states are the best. Okay? Okay, now let's keep, all right. This is a shocking, very upsetting statistic. In the US, the preterm birth rate among babies born to Black birthing people is 1.4 times higher than the rate among all other babies. And you can see that there. Okay, let's go up, Paul. Thank you. Many factors make birthing people more likely to have a preterm birth. And as you can see, they list what they see as the main causes. And I want to make the point that they have actually missed out a major health concern, and that is toxic stress. In the last couple of decades, there's been a lot of research that has come up with some startling answers, and that is toxic stress. And by that we mean stress that people endure on a daily basis, right? So it could be poverty, racism, exposure to violence, uncertainty of the future. I mean, there is a list of factors that could be concerned here. All of those experiences actually have a cascading effect on our entire bodies. It's not just a mental health issue, it's actually a physical issue. And so there are strong ties between toxic stress and diseases like cardiovascular disease, diabetes, COPD, you name it. Many of our chronic diseases are directly linked to exposure to toxic stress. And for me, because I provided mental health services in a community clinic to underserved people, it makes perfect sense to me, sadly, that Black mothers have such poor outcomes compared to other races in this country. Now let's, Paul, can you scroll down to maternal mortality? I'm actually not going to spend a lot of time on infant mortality because it's Mother's Day. It's shocking enough. But let's go to maternal mortality. We find, I think you may have, oh, here we go. All right. So, maternal mortality, now they say, has returned to pre-pandemic rates, and they note that because everywhere in the world, COVID did a terrible number on pregnant women, okay? They had a really dreadful rate. And so we're back down to a rate of 22.3. Now, the shocking thing about that is Norway, for example, has 0. And there's a short article by the Commonwealth Fund that says that the US maternal mortality rate continues to far exceed those of other high-income nations. And sadly, almost 80% of those deaths are preventable. And most of them actually happen in the postpartum period, not during birth. So, what do we know about that? Compared to women in other countries, United States women are least likely to have supports, such as home visits and guaranteed paid leave during this critical time. Let's go to maternal vulnerability index, Paul. Because once again, have a look and see, where's the darkest green? Once again, right? In the South and in the Midwest. California rates moderate vulnerability risk. So we have work to do too. Okay, thanks. You can go up. The next thing that they say we need to pay attention to is environmental issues. And wow, all I can think of is, yeah, why don't you cut the EPA while you're at it, right? And deny global warming. Because what they tell us is that exposure to extreme heat and pollution are important and dangerous factors for both maternal and infant health outcomes. Paul, thank you so much. You can turn that off now. And I'm gonna come back here. And of course, there are policy recommendations, right? One of them, interestingly, is increase the number of midwives because they are known to have very good outcomes for mothers and babies. And I actually worked with midwives quite a lot when I was in the clinic. I love them. So important issues are Medicaid expansion and extension, and that is probably why we see the southern states being the most high risk, right? Doula reimbursement, also considered a good idea. Paid family leave, absolutely essential. A commitment to prevention, in other words, primary care, accessible to all, easily. So that is the data, that is my concern. And I wanted to share it with you today because I've worked in that field for so many years. I'm hoping that it's something that you'll want to talk more about. To transition from this difficult data to the vitality and messiness of life, I've chosen an excerpt from Volume 9 of the Outlander series, a novel by Diana Gabaldon. We're talking about Brianna, who's both a mother and an artist. Done. Brianna stood in the quiet light of a late afternoon, slowly cleaning her brushes and taking leave of her work. It was an odd process, letting go of something that had lived in her for months, gradually pulling free of the growing tentacles that had gripped her brain, her heart, her fingers. People who didn't usually do such things likened it to childbirth, writing a book, painting a picture, building a house. There were for sure metaphorical parallels, especially the mingled sense of relief and exultation at the conclusion. But to her, having painted pictures, built things, and given birth, the difference was pretty noticeable. When you'd finished a work of art or substance, it was finished, while children never were. I'm sure some of us know that. Right there, she said, with a deep sense of satisfaction, pointing to the handle of a damp brush at the 4 portraits lined up against the wall before her. Meanwhile, her more mobile creatures were yelling in the back garden and would shortly be clattering in with demands to be fed, cleaned, redressed, soothed, listened to, fed again, read books, undressed, and finally crammed into beds, where she could only hope they would stay for a good long time. I can certainly identify with that. Now, I'd like to share some of my most joyful experiences of community. Part of President Johnson's war on poverty in 1965 was the creation of two community agencies. Community action agencies and community clinics, which evolved into federally qualified healthcare centers. I've been fortunate to work at both. I was living in Ohio in the 1980s and worked for a community action agency. They ran such programs as Head Start. Because access to healthcare was very limited for low-income residents, we started maternal child health clinics. Of the many stories I could tell, my favorite is the Young Mom Support Group. It made such a difference for struggling young moms to meet together for mutual support. We went a step further and recruited grandmothers from the community. They had careful training on dignity, boundaries, and mental health before being assigned to a young mum. And those grandmothers made a significant difference to the young families that they partnered with. Some of those relationships lasted a decade. Fast forward 2 decades, I have moved to California. Here I am. In 2005, I joined a federally qualified healthcare center. They use a group care model for pregnant women, mostly through the advocacy of their midwives. They were about to extend that model to provide group care for infants and their caregivers through the first year of life, at the request of the parents who had met together for centering pregnancy. I was fortunate to be in on the ground floor. It's a medical model of care, which provides both primary care and community building. Parents participate in the health care of themselves and their infants for an hour. Then they all sit together in a circle to share information, voice their challenges and triumphs, and reflect together on the development of their babies who are on a mat in front of them as they talk. I co-facilitated these groups with a physician for many years. Often grandmothers would join, and without exception, they would express how much they wished they had had such a thing available to them when they were bearing children. I consider it the most rewarding work I have ever done. Sometimes I run into past group members in the grocery store, and they love to remember those times. The groups broke isolation, provided support, and helped them gain confidence as parents, as well as providing regular health care for babies and mothers for an entire year. So, coming to the end, the creation and birthing of a child is both a natural event and a profound mystery. We have all been a part of that. So I invite you to relax in your chair. If you're comfortable, you can close your eyes and listen. I'm going to simulate what you heard in your mother's womb, something we all share. And if you wish, you can speak aloud your birth mother's name. My mother's name is Kathleen. She gave me the gift of life.
Mother's name is Jean. My mother's name is Gillian. Sorry.
And now, I'd appreciate it if you would join me in a responsive reading. It's in your gray hymnals. It's number 469. I'll read and then you respond what's in italics. Okay? I am mortal, like everyone else, a descendant of the first formed child of earth, and in the womb of a mother was I molded into flesh within a period of 10 months. When I was born, I began to breathe the common air and fell upon the kindred earth. My first sound was a cry, as is true of all. I was nursed with care in swaddling clothes. No king has had a different beginning of existence. There is for all one entrance and one way out. Therefore I prayed, and the spirit of wisdom came to me. Thank you. So kind.
Thank you so much, Gillian, for sharing your experience and your wisdom. Let's all join the choir in singing All the Weary Mothers of the Earth by Joan Baez, page 114 in the Rise Up Singing Songbook. I'm a crier. Thank you, Joan Baez, for taking this toxic stress away, even for a moment. Well, we gratefully acknowledge all those who've worked on this service. Everyone. Andy, thank you always for your music. And Gillian, thank you for your special words. And Jeff, Margaret, choir, everyone, thank you. There isn't a person who shouldn't be thanked this moment. And thanks to all of you here in the Zoom room who are sharing our service today. It's great to see you. Our Zoomers are Ben Birch and Marge Tungren. Now Jeff will lead our announcement time. Oh, although I'll start with one of my own.
One more.
Bill Belverson is also on the Zoom.
I'm sorry, Paul?
Bill Balderson.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I want to make the first announcement. Gillian, Nancy Bram, Margaret Hurlbert, Hank, Sumi, and I have all been working on an immigrant support presentation that we'll be having on June 1st, here after the service, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. And our intention is to plug members of the community, the congregation and the community, into some useful actions in support of immigrants. And we're going to have several presentations by the participating agencies, and two of them, Friends of La Peña and the East Bay Sanctuary Covenant, will be giving us a condensed version of trainings they've been doing twice a month at La Peña. They're Know Your Rights trainings, so the intention is to help others become ambassadors to inform immigrants of their constitutional rights and strategies for getting gracefully out of ICE confrontations should they occur. So we hope you can join us. It'll again be June 1st, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. here in the Fellowship Hall, and I'll post some signs. Jeff?
Great, thank you. Let's see. Today will be our first in-person session of Breathe, Move, Play. You guys like to do that kind of thing? Anybody? Especially the breathe. I love the breathing part. Which will be held at the Fireside Room. It's the next building over, upstairs in the back, at 1 o'clock, from 1 to 2:30. And Reverend JoJo is the person who's leading that. So she's going to lead that. And it's the session today will invite you to breathe, move, play with lightly structured interplay forms, inviting story, poetry, sound, movement. There's a lot of things here. Shape, you have to be there. Stillness, connection, and divine mystery. So hopefully you guys can come to that. On Wednesday will be, I think, our 8th History Club meeting. And there's a character, we're going to have 5 speeches, up to 5 speeches if all their speakers show up. And one of them will be about Barabbas. If you follow the Jesus story, you know there's a character named Barabbas who's involved in insurrection. Well, did you know that his first name was Jesus? And this theologian about 100 years, that lived 100 years after Jesus, complained about that. His name was Origen. He complained that this guy, this insurrectionist, has the same name as our Lord and Savior. So anyway, it turns out that there's an interesting story behind that. So if you want to come on Wednesday, you'll hear that. I'll just tell you really quickly. I think he's Jesus' actual brother. But that's just so you don't have to come to the meeting if you're busy. So anyway, we might hear from a wonderful person talking about sea otters, and that's Margaret Holbert. She might come and do that on this Wednesday. And anyway, it's an amazing story. Almost every sea otter died, almost all of them. We almost lost all the sea otters, but there was one tiny little spot in below Monterey area. And that was the spot. They had like 50 left because it was so isolated, like 50 little sea otters survived. And so Margaret will tell you the whole story about that. And our friend Hank is going to give us another contest, a comedic event. This one's on women's liberation, and it's going to be men against women. So if you want to come to that, that'll be fun. And Mike is going to be, thank you, Mike. He has been to Standing Rock, and the title of his talk is "I Stood at Standing Rock." So he was there when they had that big protest. So if you want to hear about the history of that protest and Mike's involvement in that, and I'm forgetting somebody. Christine. Oh my God, I love this. Christine is going to talk about the history of the trees at People's Park. So, you know, we know the history of the people there, right? We're part of Berkeley. We know what's going on there. But did you know that there's a whole history of the trees? So she's going to talk about that. So hopefully you can make it. That's Wednesday. It's called the History Club. The goal is twofold: to have a club and learn about history. So the club part, we're going to start at 6 o'clock, hang out together, share a meal, what's it called? Potluck, I guess they call that. We're going to do that. It's from 6 to 7, and then from 7 to 9 will be the program. I hope you can make it. Thank you.
I don't think anybody wanted to go to the Golden Gate Bridge with me, but I'm going to be leaving pretty soon. So, anybody,
For what event, Mike?
the Golden Gate Bridge walk,
Oh. Whoops.
There's a Mother's Day walk on the Golden Gate Bridge today, and Mike is heading over there.
Thank you all for your announcements. Another good antidote to toxic stress is laughter and looking forward to fun. So thank you. I don't see any newcomers here, but maybe, oh, there's a newcomer. I want to say that we are grateful to newcomers and nearly newcomers for being here today. And we hope you stay after the service so we can become acquainted. Lunch will be available, and sitting at those long tables breaking bread with people is a good way to get acquainted. If you are a newcomer, sorry? Yeah, if you are a newcomer or a nearly newcomer, you might like to stand up and or stay seated and share your name and a few brief thoughts.
My name's Alex. Nice to meet you all.
Hi, Alex.
Just trying to find community. I figure why not Unitarian Universalist. All right.
Thank you. Now we know Alex. Welcome. Thank you and welcome to all who are with us today in silence or with words, in person or in spirit. We will have more time to connect with each other after the service in the days to come. The days to come might even be next Sunday, May 18th. Our friend Tom Luce will give a talk about Frederick Douglass and his promotion of Haiti in 1893. Tom calls it, "Until she spoke, no Christian nation had abolished slavery." Tom continues today working to support poor children in Haiti. And now is the time we share our responsibility for the home we are creating together. Our shared plate partner for May is Hope for Haiti Education. Hope for Haiti Education works with the Grand Ravine Community Human Rights Council in Port-au-Prince to provide full scholarships for Haitian children to attend school. Tom works with this organization. They have helped hundreds of poor Haitian children get an education. And I don't know that we have someone who will be passing the plate. Christine, thank you. And Andy, will you play us a tune? Let us dedicate our offerings. Starting, to the work of this fellowship, which is creating beloved community within and beyond these walls, we dedicate ourselves and these our offerings. Now please join the choir in singing Turn, 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 a passage in Ecclesiastes, put to music by Pete Seeger. It's on page 228 in the Rise Up Singing Songbook. Well, please read with us the words in your order of service as we extinguish the candle. Thank you, Hank. Hank likes to put out fires rather than create them. We extinguish the flame of this chalice, but not the warmth of love, the light of truth, or the energy of service. These we carry in our hearts until we meet again. Thanks to all of us for this opportunity to be together. After the service, we're all welcome to stay, talk, and share a meal. For our final circle, please form a circle in the hall, join hands, and sing Circle Round for Freedom by Rabbi Linda Hirschhorn. After that, Gillian will give a benediction.
Circle round for freedom, circle round for peace, for all of us in prison, circle for release, circle for the planet, circle for each soul, the children of our children, the circle hold.
Go forth in peace, be of good courage, hold steadfastly to that which you know is right, and may the love and support of this fellowship sustain you through the days ahead.